It was a true story that I was told by my father when I was young. It was about a close friend of my father. His name was John. When my father and John were young, about 25 years old, John's father passed away. Because they were very close friends, my father also came to help John take care of his father's funeral. John's family only had him as the eldest brother, so he took care of everything with his own hands. That day, after the funeral was held, John had a little time to rest. My father and John stood in the main hall chatting and lighting a cigarette. Suddenly, another person entered the hall and asked to borrow my father's lighter. He was Kang, John's cousin, who was also related by blood, but it didn't seem like Kang and John were very close. My father still happily lent it to him. Although Kang and John were cousins, sharing the same bloodline, their personalities were opposite. John was an honest and gentle person, and Kang was a troublemaker, and his temperament was not very good. But according to John, he didn't know why this time Kang actively helped to arrange the funeral for John's father and was also very enthusiastic. Perhaps witnessing his loved one's death should make him change his mind a bit and be kinder. John had no objections or animosity towards him. At that time, my father felt that John's face looked worse, so he also asked John about his health. John said he couldn't sleep well last night because he saw his father in a dream, but he didn't understand what his father wanted. My father also asked John to tell him about the dream so that both of them could think together. Because the dead often have many unfinished business, it was normal to report dreams to children and grandchildren. John also candidly recounted that he went to bed early last night to start the funeral early today. He had been so busy all day yesterday that he immediately fell asleep as soon as he laid on his back. Suddenly, a cold breath came from nowhere, causing John to wake up. A dim figure also gradually appeared beside his bed. John said that he didn't know why he felt it, so he sat up immediately and saw his father standing next to him. John knew it was just a ghost, but he was unafraid and still talked to his father. In the dream, John's father showed an angry and upset face. His father said that there was one more person in his coffin that made him very uncomfortable. John's father did not like it. John didn't understand what his father was saying, so he asked again, but his father became silent and stopped talking, just looking at him with an annoyed expression. John was about to ask his father again when his father slowly receded, faded, and disappeared. No matter how much John reached out and screamed, he couldn't move to get out of bed and run after his father. Finally, John woke up and screamed like in that dream, causing his wife to wake up in a panic. John's wife held him and then called John to sober up. Hearing his wife's call, John came to his senses and knew he was dreaming. After hearing this, my father was also confused. John's father wanted to tell John something but couldn't figure out what it was. There were only John and his wife in this house. All siblings were in their own houses, so what did the older man mean? After discussing for a while, both of them were silent and then looked at the coffin thoughtfully. John wanted to do everything to let his father rest in peace, but he couldn't think of it. Then the two also put that thought aside to go out to receive guests who came to visit outside. People had also visited in large numbers and were sitting at the table drinking and chatting outside, including Finn. He was also a friend of John and my father, but he often traveled far away for work, only returning to his hometown once in a while. Recently, there was also news that his wife had gone away, so John asked Finn about it as well. Finn had a sullen face. He said that since he'd returned home the other day, he had not seen his wife. Finn had searched and inquired everywhere, but couldn't find her. He was asking the police to search for help. Finn was also worried about his wife. Hearing that, a person sitting at the same table also said that Finn's wife had been rumored to be a cheater and adulterer for a long time. Since Finn worked all the time and was rarely at home, his wife might have packed up and gone with her lover. John was a kind person, so he put his hand on the neighbor's shoulder and advised him not to say cruel words. If that weren't the case, it would be a mistake. The funeral took place in 3 days. Neighbors, friends and relatives had also fully paid their respects to John's father. John was also extremely busy in those days. After 3 days, it was time to go to the burial. At that time, cremation was still not widely used, so burial was common. John was the eldest son, so he hugged his father's photo and went first. Everyone was sad and heartbroken, so the crying resounded all the way. 4 strong men were responsible for carrying the coffin and going behind. The group went about halfway when suddenly, in the sky, black clouds pulled up like a storm. John looked ahead and saw clouds covering the sky. It looked like a big storm was coming. My father said it might rain soon, so they had to find somewhere to shelter or hurry to go. John decided to go straight to the burial place because it was not far, and there was no place to stay around. My father also told the coffin bearers to try to go fast. They also agreed and together tried to get there in time. So the whole group continued to go. Behind them, they heard the sound of heavy rain. Maybe the rain would come here soon. Not long after, the rain had come to white. The sky was filled with terrible thunderstorms. Lightning seemed to tear the sky apart. Suddenly there was a loud, deafening explosion. The tree by the roadside was hit by lightning, creating a terrifying scene that made everyone panic. The tree that was hit by lightning burned and immediately fell. Unfortunately, the tree fell on top of the coffin, causing the coffin to be so heavy that the support it was carrying broke and the coffin fell to the ground. The tree made a big crack on the coffin's lid and the rain fell inside the coffin. Everyone panicked when they saw the scene and didn't know what to do because it was the first time they encountered such a strange thing. After regaining their composure, the group decided to lift the tree together and open the coffin lid. Because the trunk was too heavy, it would most likely press on the older man's body, causing the older man's body to be injured and not be intact for burial. When they opened the coffin lid, they were surprised and scared. Not only the older man's body, but also the body of a woman in the coffin. Looking at the woman's body, it seemed to have been dead for a few days. The woman's body was lying on top of the older man's body. After taking a closer look, they realized that this woman was Finn's wife. She had been reported missing for a few days. Of course, it was not possible to continue burying at this time. Jean immediately reported it to the police for them to come and solve. By the time the police arrived, the rain had stopped. The police also took statements from everyone present at the scene and those related to this woman. After a day of investigation, they also found the suspect. He was Kang, John's cousin. The police arrested him to get his statement. Seeing that he could no longer deny the crime, Kang confessed that he and the other woman had been having an illicit relationship with each other for a while. Her husband was often away for work, so Kang would come over to her house when her husband was away and sleep together. Suddenly one day, she suggested to Kang about running away to another place to live and get married. That took Kang by surprise, as he had never thought of living with her. Kang just wanted to have fun, crossing the street with her. That made Finn's wife very angry. She thought that Kang was playing with her, so she got into a fight with him. Kang is also not a nice person. Being cursed makes him get angry and then argue back. The two argued for a while. No one would give up. At the climax, Kang used his hand to squeeze the woman's neck. No matter how much she cried and groaned, he didn't care. She quickly stopped breathing and lay on the ground. Only then did Kang realize that he had killed someone. This made him worry. At the same time, he heard the news that John's father had passed away, so he immediately thought of a plan. He went to find John pretending to be sad and then asked John to let him help with the funeral. That night, when everyone was asleep, Kang wrapped the woman's body in a blanket and carried it to John's house. With a sinister expression, Kang quietly went to the main hall where the coffin was located and gently opened the coffin lid. Kang placed his lover's body in the coffin next to John's father's body and then carefully closed the lid of the coffin so that no one would know. Since the coffin would never be opened by anyone and would be buried, he thought he would be able to hide his crime, but he did not expect that what he did was also an insult to the deceased, so he was punished. After that, the funeral continued. The older man was finally given a proper burial.